Hello everyone, I Jhalak Patel, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Welcomes you to the session of Power Electronics. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 3, that is choppers, with topic step down chopper. So let's start the session. First of all, let me start with the principle of step down chopper. So first of all, consider the block diagram of basic step down chopper. So here you can see that the original supply voltage is DC voltage and it is converted into the variable DC with connected across the load. And here please note that the load is purely resistive load, that's why over here only resistor is connected. Chopper is connected and through it the I0 current is passing. Because of this type of arrangement, the waveform can be like this. Here you can note that when the switch is on, or we can say that when the chopper is on, or when the chopper is as a on switch or as a on state, then you can see this on waveform, means positive waveform across it. So it gives us the T on time across the chopper. Now because chopper is acts as a switch, and if it acts as a off switch or in a off state, then you can note that the time period is off. It has the amplitude of voltage as 0 level. So it can be either positive V volt or either 0 at a time. So this is the principle of the step down chopper, that it has the positive value V or either 0. So this is the basic step down chopper. Now let's start with the analysis of this step down chopper. So for the analysis, first of all, here as I discussed that when switch 1 is closed, the T on time is noted and its input voltage appears across the load. Then when the switch is open, voltage is 0 and it gives us the off time, means T off time. Now average load voltage. Average load voltage, it is given by VLDC. So VLDC is equal to 1 upon T integration from 0 to T on time V0 dt, means 1 upon T 0 to T on time. Why we take the 0 to T on time? Because in that time period only we get the waveform, otherwise it is 0. That's why the integration is from 0 to T on time period for V0, because V0 is our variable voltage. So 1 upon T 0 to T on time V0 dt. Now if we integrate this term, we get the answer, because V0 is the voltage B and integration of time period T is nothing but the integration of 1 is T and limit is from 0 to T on. That's why here T on upon T into V will appear for the load, average load voltage. So this is the VLDC. Now the on time divided by the total time gives us the duty cycle, means T on time divided by T on time plus T off time. But T on and T off time is called as a total time, and that's why over here T on upon T is nothing but the duty cycle time, or we can say that D. So here this T on upon T is denoted by D. So it is VLDC is equal to D into V volt. Now let's take another parameter, that is average load current. We already discussed about the average load voltage. Now how to find out average load current from the average load voltage? So it is given by ILDC is equal to VLDC upon R, means V upon R. So it is equal to dV upon R. Duty cycle times voltage divided by R. So it gives us the average load current. Now the RMS value of output voltage. For the RMS value of output voltage, you have to take the square of the voltage and you have to take the square root of that particular value, means V square raised to 1 by 2. So if we want to calculate that, then again 1 upon t integration 0 to dt, but over here you have to take the square of that output voltage, means V0 square dt raised to 1 upon 2. So 1 upon t integration from 0 to dt, because the duty cycle time, now this duty cycle time is nothing but the on time, that's why from 0 to dt times integration V0 square dt. Now if you integrate this, then it looks like this, 1 upon t 0 to dt, V0 square is nothing but the voltage V, that's why over here we write V square into dt raised to 1 upon 2. Now this V square is constant, so it is out of integration, so V square upon t into 0 to dt, integration of 0 to dt, there is no term of dt, present time period is here, so integration of 1 is t and limit from 0 to dt, that's why dt minus 0. So it is V square upon t into dt raised to 1 upon 2. This t and t will be cancelled out, so the remaining term is root d into V. Root d into V volt. This is called as a RMS voltage. Now RMS load current, we already calculated the RMS load voltage. So now to find out the RMS load current, you have to divide it by the resistor, with resistor, because the load is resistive. That's why IL RMS equal to VL RMS upon R. We have the value of VL RMS, that is root D times V. So root D into V upon R, that is IL RMS. Now for the input power. So input power is given by the Pi. So Pi is equal to 1 upon t into integration 0 to dt, V0 into I0 dt. Means the integration from 0 to duty cycle time V0 into I0 into dt. Means the total power divided by the time period. This gives us the value of the input power. So that's why we write 1 upon t 0 to integration dt, V0 into I0 dt. This gives us the input power. Here there is no losses, that's why the input and output power will be equal if there is no losses across the device. Now if we integrate this, then it is 1 upon t, and again integration remains as it is, but this I is called as V by R. I can be written as the V by R. So V0 is also V, so V square upon R. So now if we integrate this last equation, we get D into V square upon R, because this V0 square upon R is constant, that's why it is out of the integration, means V0 square upon R constant and out of the integration, 1 upon t as it is, but integration of dt, integration of 1 dt is t and limit is from 0 to dt, that's why it is like dt upon t, so d into V square upon R. So this is called as an input power. Now effective input resistance. So effective input resistance is the output voltage upon the load DC current that is flowing through the device. So V upon IR DC, that is called as effective input resistance. Now this ILDC is nothing but the dV upon R, so we put the value of ILDC over here. This V and V will be cancelled out, so the remaining term is R upon D. Effective input resistance is the resistance divided by the duty cycle period. That's why Ri is equal to R upon D. This is called as a effective input resistance. Now let's take one example related to it. The DC chopper has a resistive load of R is equal to 10 ohm and input DC voltage of 200 volt. When the chopper switch remains on, its voltage drop is 2 volt and chopping frequency is 1 kilohertz, and if duty cycle is 30%, then determine average load voltage, RMS load voltage, form factor and ripple factor. Now the equation for form factor and ripple factor is same for the this chopper also. If you remember the unit 2 ripple factor and form factor equation, we have seen that. So same equation we will use for this, the like form factor square minus 1 raised to 1 by 2 gives us the ripple factor. So in same way we will calculate the ripple factor for this one also. So let's start with the solution. First of all, average load voltage. So average load voltage is given by 1 upon T integration 0 to dt. Originally it is a V0, but it is V minus V chopping voltage will be reduced, so that's why it gives us the original output voltage. Because if you see the RMS voltage equation, then here you can see that this is the input DC voltage is also there, and the chopping voltage drop of 2 volt due to chopper operation is there. So you have to subtract this from the original DC voltage and then you have to apply. So that's why over here we write this equation like V minus V chopping. So this is 1 upon T 0 to dt, again duty cycle time, V minus V chopping voltage into dt. So if we integrate this, there is no term of T present, that's why this term is constant. V minus VCH is out of integration. So V minus VCH as it is divided by T, and here there is no term of T present, so integration of 1 is T and limit is from 0 to dt, and that's why over here we write this. So this T and T will be cancel out, so remaining part is V minus V chopping voltage into T. So if we put the values, then 200 minus chopping drop, if you see the problem statement, there is a voltage drop of 2 volt. This 2 volt is a chopping voltage, so it should be here. V chopping voltage is equal to 2 volt. So it is equal to 200 minus 2 into 0.3 means 198 into 0.3. So it gives us an average load voltage of 59.4 volt. Now let's find out another quantity, that is RMS load voltage. So for RMS load voltage you have to take the square of the voltage and the square root. So let's start with it. So it is 1 upon T integration from 0 to dt, V minus VCH square into dt raised to 1 by 2. So 1 upon T as it is, integration from 0 to dt is there, and V minus VCH square dt raised to 1 by 2. So again V minus VCH square is out of the integration, T as it is, integration from 0 to dt, dt is integration of 1 is T and limit is from 0 to dt, so dt raised to 1 by 2. So this T and T will be cancel out, so the remaining term is V minus VCH square into D raised to 1 by 2. So it is root D into V minus VCH. So root D, if you note the problem statement, then there is a duty cycle of 30% is given. 30% means 30 upon 100 means 0.3 is our D value. That's why over here we write under root 0.3. Why under root 0.3? Because D raised to 1 by 2 is there. So it can be written like root D. It can be written like root D into V minus VCH square. So this square and square root will be cancelled out, so root D into 198. So this gives us answer 108.4 volt. This is RMS load voltage. Now let's find out the form factor and ripple factor. So form factor is given by RMS voltage divided by the DC voltage. So RMS voltage is equal to 108.4, that is given, and upon the DC voltage means 59.4. So this gives us the answer 1.824. In the percentage form it is 182.45% for form factor. Now if we have the value of form factor, then we can find out the ripple factor, but ripple factor should be as minimum as possible, because as there is more ripple then the more fluctuations in the waveform, so ripple factor should be as minimum as possible, and it is given by the equation form factor square minus 1 raised to 1 by 2. So if we apply the equation for the ripple factor, then it is form factor square minus 1 raised to 1 by 2. If we put the values, then it is 1.527. So this is the answer for ripple factor. So this one is the one example for related to it. In the next session we will take this one example number 2. For the given data in example number 1, also find out the chopper frequency and effective input resistance. You should try this by yourself. And chopper frequency is actually the output power upon input power. So we already discussed about the input and output power in the previous slides. So you just try to solve this chopper frequency. In the next session we will see the solution related to example number 2. Up to this, if you have any queries or question, you can ask me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you for watching.